I am Shankar Jiwal, currently working as Commissioner of Police of Greater Chennai Police City. So, these generally are two ways we can do it. One is subjective, one is objective. A subjective assessment starts when you go around surveying people, talk to people and see as to what they feel. By and large, if you talk to people in Chennai, especially women, you will find that there is not that kind of fear perception which is there in some other metros. And objectively, we see it as to what is the crime rate per lakh of population in a city. So, when you compare Chennai city with other cities, be it Delhi, Mumbai, Bangalore, other places, almost in all parameters you will find that Chennai city has a very less crime rate comparatively per lakh of population. In that also we see whether with increasing population we are able to bring down certain aspects of crime or not. One of the very important aspect is that, for example, the cases of robbery in public places by way of chain snatching or that kind of stuff. So, in that also statistically we have been able to bring this down almost to half of 2020. Now, 2020 happened to be a year which was plagued by COVID. So, most of the public movement was restricted. Still we had about 470 cases reported, whereas last year where the movement was free and perfectly normal life, we had only 230 cases reported. So, these are some parameters with which you can say. Apart from general crime, if you come to women, safety of women, I would like you to refer to the data of National Crime Record Bureau, which is repository of the crime data, crime and criminals data all over India. Almost in all aspects, be it outraging modesty to other aspects of women's safety, per lakh population wise, Chennai is the least. So, definitely Chennai happens to be a very safe city, especially for women, and even a recent study, an independent study also established that one of the factors definitely is safety, other factors also including like mobility, residential gender bias, all Chennai happens to be one of the safe cities, no doubt about it. Women's safety, yes, we have drawn about 7 verticals which are the focused area, the area of attention for us, and one of them is crime against women and children. That is one of the verticals which we are working right from day one. Now, one of the aspects which we did, now this is most of the generally is like subjective part I talked about. There we did some sample surveys and all, and we found that for crime against women and even children like POCSO offences, the perpetrator mostly is about 80% cases he is known, either he is a relative, he is a neighbor, he is somebody at work, he is known person by law, he is not a stranger. Still the reporting of cases is less because mostly there is this feel that should I report it or not, this person is known to me, where something else will happen or no. But two aspects we have been concentrating on. First is awareness aspect. We wish to bring to people notice, especially women and children, that there is a system, there is a specific set of laws which are meant to protect you, both preventive and reactive aspect of it, and a lot of awareness goes into that. We have pink patrols, plus we have all one police stations and a dedicated Deputy Commissioner of Police for crime against women and children. A scheduled list is drawn with a propaganda vehicle plus awareness campaigns in schools and colleges, so much so that out of about 3.5 lakh downloads of Kaval Udvi app, which is a app which is Kavalan earlier, now it is Kaval Udvi app, 2.5 downloads are in city out of this thing, and we are going to sort of improve upon that. Apart from awareness part, second part is say no to violence, because in most of these cases we saw also that the perpetrator tries to continue that kind of offense emboldened by the silence of the victim. So, we are in our awareness campaign and all these things trying to tell them that say no to violence. The moment you say it, 50% of the problem goes away. But this is something what we call as in our drug enforcement parlance as demand reduction. Now, it is not actually so. That what we are trying to say that why should the case get reported? And then a long procedure of criminal justice system, investigation, etc. First of all, awareness and prevention itself, which is very, very important. Second part, definitely when case get reported, what do you do? So, in women and children cases, we have drawn a standard operating procedure, which is part of the case diary file, and where each thing has to be ticked up procedurally, which has been done or not, etc. Some legal aspect, some for comfort aspect, some for the better investigation aspect, and to see that free registration takes place. One of the aspects where likely in future also this year, the number of cases likely to go up is crime against women and children, not because crimes are going up, because we want that each and every case is brought to our notice should be registered. So, 24 hours time, either with the help of Women Commission or with the help of the Child Welfare Committee, we decide and we register cases, the accused are arrested. Many cases we have even gone for detention of these people who are sort of slightly serious offenders under Gundas Act. After doing all this, then the question arises that what else is going on? Is it police alone? So, we know that in this aspect police alone can't do much. So, we are tying up with the social welfare department in a big way for counseling and rehabilitation. We also are running our own counseling, Nirbhaya specialized counseling center at our police officers mess near the building, and out of about 500 plus cases last year, 117 are success stories where we are able to help people by counseling and turning around their lives. So, this kind of work needs to be concentrated, we keep on doing, and still when the cases get reported, the quality of investigation is likely to improve, has gone up. Last year, the number of convictions in the cases were highest in the decade of ours, and this year we like to improve upon that. So, it's two-pronged strategy. First of all, to see that they empowered the women and children, and second, that if case does get reported, to see that is brought to a logical conclusion fast. Well, the elder citizens, like we did a study regarding this last year, and we found that Tamil Nadu is one of the state where by percentage the elderly population I think is highest or at number 2. But Chennai, what we did, we took 4 wards to start with, because we have electoral roll. In electoral roll, we did a very diligent one by one, we went around, male 60 plus, female 58 plus we went, and we found that we have almost about in those wards about 30% plus elderly population. Now, this is like more than I believe the bracket of 18 and below. So, this elderly population in Chennai is pretty high, we are aware of the issue. For that, that's why we have a separate elderly helpline in our control room, apart from the regular one, which is national helpline. We do have constables in station-wise distribution who take care of these elderly people. Like one of the major aspects which people do not know, in COVID times, many of these elderly guys were helped by our people in helping with medicine and food. And many of them also need this daily nursing care. They had a problem of, because there was a restriction of movement. So, whenever whosoever got back to us, we saw to it that their nursing facility care is taken care of by letting those people travel from the place of stay to the work. The further improvement on this, and the third part is that crime that we take very seriously, especially like if any, because they are vulnerable population in a way. Now, as to that what else we can do further in this, there we are proposing to government for a helpline, a separate unit to help them as such, where in each station limit we have enumerated them, and only thing we need a specific mandate to go and help them in case, whatever case of need they have. this is beyond the normal call of duty of a policeman, because many times they just want the comfort that somebody is coming and having a look up, or they need that the medicines can be somebody can bring on time. They get suspicious about normal movements also, they need a comfort factor to be told by regular visitations. This may be slightly beyond the call of duty, but we will improvise, and we are planning to take this to that step where we can ensure that they feel safe, because I told you the number wise that thing is bit lopsided in Chennai city. On daily challenges wise, we do not have a forecasted set pattern. It changes on everyday basis. Our focal area basically, as I told you, is crime against women and children, social media platform offences, because they have a tendency to suddenly run from online to offline course, which can be dangerous at times. So that is a daily and regular monitoring is required. The upsurge in cyber crimes and keeping up with the new modus operandi. For that we have brought out the educational book also, and we know that this will keep changing. So we have given a QR code. And today also we are giving a press release of a new modus operandi. So you need not every time update or get a new booklet, printed hard copy. Just scan the QR code, you get the latest awareness messages out there. The traffic issues management is a major issue in any urban scenario, and Chennai is not an exception. This is a focal area where we are coming up with cross zones. We have come up with specific studies and correlating cause and effect for better enforcement. For example, driving under influence, and then how many accidents take place according to that. So the study of that then is our enforcement on DUI, driving under influence, or drunken driving we call it here, enough to cause reduction there or not causing. So that kind of stuff. Then police welfare is a very, very important aspect for us, welfare of our own men and women. The drive against rowdy elements, drive against crime offenders, drive against drugs, and drugs include the banned tobacco products, which is just High Court has decided about, but still under the COTPA offences. These are our daily routine monitoring dashboards on which we see as to how the things are emerging. To have a better comparative study and how the things are changing over a period of time and geospatial analysis, we have come up with a project which is about 5 crore and already underway. GIS crime mapping is going on now. So you can see as to how a particular crime, let us say house breaking by night, is changing over with period of time over map, physical representation. So you will know that hotspots disappearing or emerging or going away. We will see all that. So our daily work is like not set, but these are the focal areas for us on which we work. The rest is like management of affairs. Our thing is that it has to be perfectly legal and a professional stand as far as possible. We keep on educating our manpower on that, and as far as I am concerned, a personal thing that I have come across, that Chennai city I think is pretty good in that. I will give you a few examples of that. Like we wanted our people from COVID time onwards, because that was the people already stressed, and we just wanted them to have a humane approach, a slightly soft, velvet gloved approach, and our people came up to the expectation very much. Even now when we are booking driving under influence night, we have a SOP for that, especially if a woman is driving and all that, to tell that we can drop you home, or we can get a Uber for you, you can call a friend, etc. and all that. So the corruption aspect is a similar thing, where we have been teaching people, and people, our own force, I think has come up pretty well on that, and we do not have many complaints on this aspect. Wherever there are any complaints or any instances coming to our notice, there we ensure that the action is very severe, because it should stand out, and the person, immediately inquiry is ordered, pending inquiry, the person is generally transferred to the control room or on to the armed reserve, and based on the outcome of inquiry, we do take disciplinary action, and in some cases even we have gone to the extent of suspension. But I won't say that there is a rampant corruption, etc. This force is pretty good. I am happy to be the leader of this force at this point of time. We do have about 23,000 plus police force plus home guard strength of 3,000 plus. We have traffic wardens which also come and add on to our numbers, voluntary force. So there are certain standards, like if you want to go by UN standard, then there is a particular number. I think it's about 212 or like that per unit of population. But you cannot, there is a very interesting social model, which is the PRISM model or SALA model, where we cannot just import one standard and say that worldwide it will be applicable. There are different places, different situations and all. Wherever we have asked strength from government, like last year we had formation of two new serious crime squads, the strength was sanctioned, additional involvement police stations were sanctioned. So wherever we have requirement of strength, depending on the particular task which is added to our bag of work, we ask government and we do get strength for that. I will not blame or say that the city has a shortage of strength which is affecting our work, if you want me to put it very succinctly. And we by and large get from government whatever we ask for. So it's up to us to optimize the resources and give the maximum output, which we are delivering, I believe. For city, first of all, I'll ask for my own men and officers. Okay. Because if city has to be served, they have to be first served. First get you a good cook, then the food will be good also. Welfare of the manpower, their satisfaction rate needs to be pretty high. So whatever efforts we need to do there, that will be first sort of a request. Definitely the second request will be that the city should continue to be safe in a way that people, that's why I have talked about subjective and objective part. Just by figures we shouldn't try to say the city is safe. If people really feel safe and that factor, that mindset is there, that part is there, because only when people feel they are safe, everything else get built on that, be it daily your routine, be it industrial activity, be it tourism, everything is built on that platform. The third aspect definitely I will wish for is that the traffic management in city, which is always a sort of you can say we have issues with that, need to improve, and there a request is there, or sort of a field is there, that we need to have better civic sense also. Finally, it all boils down to each individual as to how he or she is behaving on the road. Fourth aspect is the, yes, people do come across the crime, this thing, no society is free from crime, but anybody who has committed a crime should not be condemned to a criminal life for whole of his life. So some sort of a rehabilitation efforts which we are doing, we have a specific program called Parvai for that, where juvenile offenders and first time petty offenders, we are trying to rope them in, which is a very huge success rate in last 1 year. So one of the request will definitely be that if there is a better thing of rehabilitation and a chance to the temporarily deviated persons, it will be a great thing. And fifth aspect is any society is built on the children and women. This aspect should continue to remain one of the safe aspects that will be there. I do not know how much Santa will give us, but definitely we can come at a bigger wish list also. I am surprised why you asked me only 5. You could ask me 10 as well. Sure. But anyway, 5 will do. Mostly is the welfare aspect of the people, like where we feel that just because somebody has put in khaki, he is either become too responsible or become too sort of prudent, and he is above everything worldly, and it's not so, because man who puts khaki has come as a sample from same society. Same society from where the criminals have come, everybody, like, so we are just in khaki a sample of society. And we started a program called as Magalchi. This is a government sponsored program where we try to identify our own personnel who have issues such as stress resulting into short performance, affecting their performance, affecting the family, causing addiction at some point of time. And there I think my best experiences lie. We are able to wean away a lot of people, our own force. I think each person saved, like if we work out the same population ratio is equal to some maybe few thousand of citizens saved in a way, a policeman saved. And we have a large women population as well in police, about 4,500 plus. For them also, some of the experiences where they were helped out and they could perform better, I think those are my cherished moments, because performance wise, statistics wise, cases happen, do come and go. Like we have beautiful cases of detection, Mailapur double murder case within 5 hours. We have federal bank case, about almost 31.7 kilo of gold, and entire each gram of gold recovered in 3 days, a lot of cases like that. I will attribute all those as feathers in cap to my colleagues and my force. But definitely this aspect I will cherish, is that we were able to rehabilitate or help some of our own policemen and women. So fictional obviously is fiction, so definitely not. Private sleuth, I don't think that they're too sort of glorified thing. Okay. I think a common man on the road, like I'd rather go with the untouchable Sean Connery on this. A beat cop, I'll go with him rather. A beat cop who did his duty so diligently, very practical with the aspects on the street, and even gave up his life as for the movie now. So I think I'll go with that kind of stuff. And I think in our force, you'll be surprised to know that up to rank of head constable, they go about twice or thrice every day night rounds. So we can throw it as a challenge for a common man, anybody, that please try to wake up 3 nights a week and see what happens and how do you behave. So there are challenges which our people, I will call them superheroes basically, are handling it so well. I will go with my street cop, rather than any of the fictional cop rather.
Sure.
Thank you. Thank you so much.